another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. Unfortunately, Adam could not join us today, so you just got me over here, Peter, as your host, and my main man, Tom, as always. What's been going on, man?
Not much, just watching the sports.
Yeah. So, we got a couple things we wanted to do here today to talk about, mostly play our little games. So, we're just going to kick that off with some quarterback survivor. And Tom, you want to start us off?
Sure. Adam was kind enough to give us his picks before he left. Adam's immunity pick is Dak Prescott.
Right. My immunity pick this week was CJ Stroud, picking up everybody from Texas, I guess.
And I'll leave Texas and go a little further east with Trevor Lawrence is my immunity pick.
Trevor Lawrence. Interesting immunity pick. He is not having a good year, and I feel like a fool for vouching for him at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he left early with the high ankle sprain, but before he left, he was doing pretty decent, and hopefully he's being monitored right now, but if he gets back into the kick of things and kind of brings up the game, I think he could do well.
Back into the kick of things because it's an ankle sprain, right?
There you go.
I see what you did there.
All right, Pete, who is your choice for elimination?
All right, my choice for elimination is Tua Tagovailoa.
That is a good choice.
Yeah, I think it's time. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. I wish him the best. I hope he makes the best decision for himself. But I think it's time to eliminate him from contention.
Yeah, I can understand that pick. Adam's pick is going to be Jordan Love.
All right. And who's your pick?
And my pick is, I wrestled with this one. This one was a legitimate tough one for me, but I had picked Geno Smith.
Okay.
The 2 interceptions, and it wasn't his best week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get both a holistic view as well as a week-to-week view. I think that's why I picked CJ Stroud as my safety pick, because while he didn't have the best of games, I think he threw for 2 picks in that game, but I think it's his only 2 picks of the season, and it's hard to just throw him out with one bad game. But at the same time, my secondary pick was Caleb Williams. And I know I vouched for him at the beginning of the season too. It's like, all right. I mean, I think the jury's sold on that one. He's got two TDs, 4 interceptions, I think, on the season.
Yeah.
Never mind.
If I'm completely honest, Geno Smith was my third choice, but you and Adam both beat me to the other 2.
Yeah.
That being said, I think I have to agree with your choice for Tua. He was my number 1 elimination choice. He's supposed to be out for 4 weeks, and best ability is availability.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is how available is he going to be if he comes back? He might not even
in 4 weeks.
4 to 8, right? They said 4 to 8.
Yeah.
And it's
optimistically 4.
Yeah. And I don't know if he should. I mean, it's his life and it's his decision. I don't want to tell him what to do. But I know if it was me, I'd walk. I don't want to be Brett Favre. If you heard about Brett Favre, he says he thinks he had 1,000 concussions during his time playing football, which I wouldn't be shocked. I mean,
he played for 20 years.
It's true. And I mean, he went out with concussions in the first quarter and then would come back by the end of the game.
Yeah.
He did some crazy shit in his day, and like you don't want to be Brett Favre. So I hope he makes the right decision for himself. He seems to get concussions so easily. Like I I was so mad at Brady when Brady was like, "My body's just built differently. That's why I don't get concussions." Like that's such an asinine thing to say, and it's so completely not based in science. like, but like then you look at Tua, and it's like he gets them really easily. Like I saw Hurts take that same hit probably 5 times in the Eagles game this week, and he didn't get a concussion out of any of them.
They
I don't
say
know.
once you have your first concussion, every other subsequent concussion is much easier to get.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you're good with Tua, or do you want to vote for Geno or Jordan Love?
yeah, I'm gonna vote for Tua. Honestly, neither Geno nor Jordan Love were even on my radar. I think, honestly, uh, if it actually mattered, I would say that all the other quarterbacks owe Tua a debt of gratitude and owe Russell Wilson a debt of gratitude. Because honestly, like we just eliminated the 2 injured players back to back weeks.
Yeah,
Everybody else
he
kind of
should
got a
have
free
been.
pass. Caleb Williams is stinking it up, and he gets to limp along for another week. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I have to admit, I went bad for Caleb Williams, and even I'm starting to say that eliminated. Yeah, I'm the one that went to bat for Caleb Williams, and I got to admit, even the elimination button is looking pretty tempting for me.
right. It's just like, damn it, I wanted you to be better.
All right, so moving on to winners and losers. Last week we had, let's see here. Adam said the Pittsburgh Steelers would lose. Unfortunately, they won against the Chargers 20-10. Pete and
Nice.
I both said Los Angeles Rams would lose. Unfortunately, they won against the 49ers 27-24.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Uh, I I called Cincinnati Bengals to win. They didn't. 38-3. I don't know where that guy came from. Oh shoot, I'm blanking on the Jaden Daniels. He just exploded.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think it was the running back Aguilar.
Yeah,
I
I
think is
think
his
that's
name,
right.
something like that, something with an A.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it was a little bit more him than it was Jaden Daniels. Um, I mean, he was running all over the place. He was catching screen passes. He was catching passes beyond, behind the line of scrimmage. To be entirely honest with you, what it reminded me a lot of was Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook, and it it just it was a good matchup. And apparently, the Bengals suck this year. So I don't know.
I made the comparison that Jaden Daniels looked like RG3, and it may be the Washington uniform, or it may be that he was running like a crazy person. I made the comment no less than 5 times to my wife that he needs to learn to stay put. He's going to get jacked up if he keeps running like that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with that, but I think RG3 and Donovan McNabb were very similar in play style back in the
Yeah.
day. Honestly,
Um, I guess in my head, Donovan McNabb is just a kind of a tougher guy. He could run and get hit, and it didn't hurt him as much as it hurt RG3.
Oh, I mean, tell that to his sports hernia.
Fair enough, but all right. Next we had Pete predicting Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win. Unfortunately, lost to the Broncos 26-7.
Yeah.
And for our sole point for the week, Adam went against me, and he went Washington Commanders to win. And sure enough, yeah, they beat the Bengals. So Adam gets the only point for week 3.
I mean, kudos to him for throwing a dart at a board. There's no way you thought that was really going to happen.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious that he and I were just completely contrary on the same game. It was like, nah.
That's great.
All right, so moving on to week 4. We'll start with the winners. Adam predicts Dallas to win over the New York Giants on Thursday's game. Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What you got?
We'll see about that. I think Dallas might be exposed, but we'll see. I've got the San Francisco 49ers winning. Honestly, I think this might be one of the only games they can win.
Aha. New England. Oh, against New England. Yeah, they got this.
So
Sunday 4:00. Yeah.
Sunday 4:00. Where is it? Why can't I find? Oh, there we go. Yeah, ESPN has San Francisco at 10, winning by 10 points. Like,
wow,
it's insane. And I don't think it's going to be anywhere that much of a blowout. I think this is probably the one game you can count on San Francisco to win, but they're not going to win it by 10 points. Like, maybe 7, but not 10.
All right, and my winner for next week, I'm taking the Jets to win over the Broncos. I think that Aaron Rodgers finally figured out how to be a Jets quarterback. I think he can do this. All right, and moving on to the losers. Adam's loser pick. He is choosing the Arizona Cardinals to lose to Washington for Sunday's other 4:00 game.
Damn, he's all in on Jaden Daniels, huh?
Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row he's going for the Washington win.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I'm going for Denver Broncos to lose against the New York Jets.
Oh, we're on this. All right, we're going the same direction. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree he's figured out how to be a Jets quarterback, but I think if he plays, they'll win. And Denver's not winning.
All right, and wow, this is hilarious. My loser for week 4 is I'm taking New England to lose to San Francisco.
Great minds think alike, my friend.
All right then. So this is going to be an easy week. I got 3 games to watch.
There you go.
Oh, that's funny.
So I'm looking at the schedule trying to pick my games. And did you see the matchup for Monday night at 7 p.m. or 7:30?
Tennessee versus Miami.
How much do you think ESPN is regretting putting this game on freaking Monday night? Like, I don't know how you call this game. Like, it's an over-under of 36.5. And Miami's a 1-point favorite. Is anyone even going to watch it? I wouldn't even watch that if I was a Miami fan, and that's a home game.
I think this is the one of the rare opportunities for Miami fans to go to a Dolphins game for like $12 a seat.
On prime time. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and then Seattle, Detroit, right? Well, it's probably going to start right at like the fourth quarter or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, it's only 45 minutes later, so it'll be at
Yeah,
halftime. Then everybody will switch
yeah, that
over to the
sounds
game,
about right.
switch over to the Seattle game, and ESPN will lose
'Cause-
80% of their viewers. Because there's no way this game's going to be exciting. Like the Detroit Seattle game, it's hard enough to call that one, but for the other reason, like the over under is a
yeah.
full 10 points higher.
Oh man. All right, so moving on to the news segment. Arch Manning, the nephew of the great Peyton and less great Eli Manning, had his first collegiate start for the Texas Longhorns. His first game, he did 15 for 29 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 51-3 victory over the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks.
Damn, their defense must be good. Well, wait a minute. So they only scored 3 points, right? And they're just playing a nobody team. And I know very
I
little
kind of
about
got
college
that.
football, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
I have to admit, before this, I never even heard of the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks.
right.
So
it's like a nobody team, and he threw 2 picks. I don't know if that's a
yeah,
good game. I mean, the victory
well,
sounds great, but 2 picks against that team?
you got to also remember he's a freshman, so
Fair. First game and all. But he's a Manning, damn it. He's got to be winning Super
to that
Bowls.
point. To that point, while making some amazing completions in his first start, Arch Manning gave himself a solid C plus, which is the most Manning answer you can possibly give.
Wasn't that always the joke? Was Peyton Manning just looked like that kid that's got good grades because he was on the football team? Teachers all gave him C pluses.
Oh heck! Fun fact: this start comes almost 30 years exactly to his uncle Peyton Manning's first start for Tennessee in 1994.
Wow. And who did he play in 1994?
I had that down, and I think I lost it.
Oh.
I think it was also a no-name team, but moving on to the world of Major League Baseball, Seiho Otani hit the 50-50 club last Thursday, actually. Less than 24 hours after our last podcast, he crossed the line.
Right. It's crazy.
And I love that for an encore, he hit number 51 into the cheap seats. He almost hit the lights. You know those big lights they have on top?
Right.
He almost took one out, but then it just started sailing down at the last minute. I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
He currently sits at 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases with 5 games remaining.
5 games remaining.
One of those games starts in about an hour.
So if in 5 games he can get 7 home runs and steal 1 base a game. I mean, is that asking too much? That would be kind of cool.
He's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time.
It's only a little bit more than 1 home run and 1 stolen base a game. Like, just fit in 2 extra home runs in there somewhere.
I do feel a little bit of sympathy for all the LA fans because he did this at an away game.
Oh, of course.
So
It always happens. You get your big victory moment and the crowd boos you for it.
I think that even the away team crowd was cheering for this one. This was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Staying in baseball, the White Sox losing record. They currently sit tied at the worst losing record in MLB history. They are tied with the 1962 New York Mets at 120 losses.
Jesus.
They got 5 games that they have to go flawless on to not be the worst team ever. And I hate to break it to you, but the last 3 of them are against the Tigers, who are in the hunt for a playoff position.
Oh my God, that's crazy. It's funny because I always joked about part of my problem with baseball is you just get spotted 80 games, and it's like every team wins 80 games no matter what.
Not this
Not
time.
this time. It's like just cut the 80 out and only play 100. I don't get it.
Because I think they're like 32 or 34 wins for the season so far.
Wow.
Something ridiculous like that.
That's insane. It's like crimes against baseball.
37. They are 37 and 120.
I'm 37.
Sliding over to basketball, we had a couple of firsts in the world of women's basketball.
Okay.
Aja Wilson won the unanimous MVP award this year. All 67 votes for her.
Wow.
Only one other person has ever done it. It was back in '97, Cynthia Cooper.
Okay.
And there were only 37 ballots back then. And Caitlin Clark won the AP Rookie of the Year. I haven't followed up if she won the official Rookie of the Year yet or not.
Yeah. I imagine she would.
Yeah.
It's like, was there any other candidate?
That's actually a thing going on the internet right now, is in the MVP voting, one person voted for Angel Reese the same time that Caitlin Clark got all her MVP votes at the fourth slot. I'm sorry. Because Caitlin Clark got all of her MVP votes as the 4th position. So now the speculation is there's one voter that won't vote for Caitlin Clark because they think Reese is better. But some people are saying it could be because they put Caitlin Clark higher on the list at the 1, 2, or 3 position, 2 or 3 position, because the 1 position was unanimous. Well, I am sucking all the air out of the room. So moving on to
I really don't understand how that voting works. It's like a rank system, I guess.
My understanding is you get to put down your top 5 or your top 10, and the higher they are on your list, the more points they get, and based on that, they award the different awards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We kind of touched on this earlier. Brett Favre has announced that he has Parkinson's disease during a congressional hearing.
Yeah. Have they ever formally linked Parkinson's to head trauma?
No,
Yeah.
not formally.
I didn't think so.
It is strongly suspected.
Yeah.
Lots of studies are pointing in that direction, but there's still work to be done.
They got these new headphones out that are supposed to be able to monitor your brain activity, which is just terrifying. Um, like, I don't know how they could possibly work. I was walking at them. They look like yours. They're just like simple over the ear headphones that are like, with
Mhm.
bigger sized over the ear spots. And I was listening to a podcast where someone was talking about, like companies deploying them out to their workers and like monitoring people's brain activity while they're working. And it's like that is the most terrifying thing I've ever
A
heard in my
little bit.
life. Like, but at the same time, I wonder if if that science is real and it's not just snake oil that they're trying to sell, snake oil technology they're trying to sell to you. Um, and that's real. I wonder if they can use it to start monitoring, brain injuries like this and like put that kind of technology into the helmet. And I know how crazy that sounds, but I mean, if you can monitor brain activity in real time, you might actually
Mhm.
be able to see this trauma in real time and be able to, combat it. And it's not,
That will.
I mean, as much as it sucks, it's not about the guys that are on the field right now because you're not going to be able to help them once they've had the brain trauma.
Hmm.
But if you can see like exactly when it happened and how it happened, then maybe you can
Hmm.
prevent the next one. And so while brain monitoring headphones sounds like terrifying as hell, that was the first thing I thought of was like, oh man, maybe they can figure out concussions with this shit.
That would be interesting because if nothing else, it would give you a baseline, a progression. Like if you did a scan on day one of their career and then just watch it as they progress, you could get some very valuable information about the impact of the human body in football.
Right. Of course, we're going to do that, and then football is going to become outlawed, and my life will be over. So let's just not get that far.
Nah, nah, they'll get rid of hockey way before they'll get rid of
I
football.
mean, fair. Did you hear about the guy in Europe over the summer? He got
No,
skate cut his throat and he died on the ice.
yes, I did. I
Yeah,
did hear about that one.
it's nuts. And they were like, yeah, and he wasn't even wearing a neck guard. And I was like, there's neck guards in hockey? No
Mm.
idea that was a thing.
Yeah, I remember them. It. I remember the story is that the guy who kicked him, he was like trying to kick him in the chest or something, and the skate went up and got his neck. And everyone's like, "Why were you kicking him in the chest?"
Yeah, with a knife attached to your foot. Like, ugh.
Last I heard is that they were trying to press criminal charges, but I never followed the story much after that.
You followed it further than I did. I just got to the point where he wasn't wearing a neck protector, and then I stopped. But
Hmm.
no, I mean that's part of the reason why I think they should take. Well, I mean it's a rare happenstance, but like it's a rare happenstance that didn't have to happen. And if they would just take fighting out of
Yeah.
hockey, it would never have happened. Like fighting shouldn't be in
Well,
hockey. It's a stupid tradition. It's the reason I don't
I
watch the sport.
it's the reason my daughter doesn't watch the sport either. I took her to a couple of hockey games in Fort Wayne, and she watched two of them. And on the second one, she's just like, "Do they have to fight so much?"
Yeah,
And I was like, "Ah, they don't have to. They just kind of do."
it's ridiculous. It's like what? It's not a combat sport. If I wanted to watch a
Yeah.
combat sport, I would have gone to a combat sport. Like, I don't know.
See, I am, I hate saying I'm okay with the fighting, but I don't mind the fighting if they're doing it properly. Now,
What's
the
properly?
like throwing fists,
Okay, not
but
kicking each other in the chest, obviously.
Yeah, not kicking each other in the chest or hitting each other with the hockey sticks.
Yeah,
That kind of thing is just like you've gone too far.
yeah.
But I don't know. You may have a very valid point that they probably shouldn't be fighting at all, but at the same time, it's kind of part of the game, whether it's official or not.
I mean, I get it on one level, but on another level, like either somebody ends up seriously hurt or dead, or
Mm,
you just end up with two dudes like ripping their shirts off and spinning in circles on ice. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Uh. All right, and for my final bit of news, I was going to do a quick overview of the MLB playoffs. So far, we have 8 teams that have clinched playoff spots and 4 spots left, with 6 teams close to getting one of those 4 spots.
Nice.
The Tigers, the Royals, and the Twins are all 3 hunting for the last 2 AL spots, and the Diamondbacks, the Mets, and the Braves all fighting for the last 2 NL spots. AL is pretty cut and dry. The Twins have a very small chance of getting into a spot, so the Tigers and Royals are pretty much there, and that's going to be the AL. The NL, on the other hand, it is tight, and it doesn't help that a lot of the last 5 games are playing each other.
Yeah. That's what makes it exciting.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, uh, but oh, and I forgot to mention this. Seiho Itani, after clinching his spot in the 50-50, the same game is what clinched the Dodgers spot in the playoffs.
Oh, that's
The
awesome.
first time Seiho Itani has ever been in a playoff is with this new team and after joining the 50-50
Wow.
club.
That's crazy. Like, imagine that being your life. Wow. Like, that's insane.
Uh, Now, ironically enough, they've clinched a spot in the playoffs, but they still don't have the title yet for the NL West.
Okay.
They are uh, they are only a few games away from the Padres, and I think they play the Padres. Yeah, tonight and tomorrow night they're playing the Padres. So that'll be interesting. They're playing each other for the title.
I'm about ready to start paying attention to baseball again, but like when football starts, I can't stop with football. It's like there's
Yeah.
and with all the professional wrestling I watch, there's only so much time a man can spend watching sports. And like um
Yeah.
but once they hit the playoffs, that's when I start trying to tune into games cuz those games get exciting and
Yeah, they do.
they actually mean something. And as much as like I get that regular season games matter because that's what gets you to the playoffs. Like an individual game never matters until the end of season. It's like it's not exciting. I don't know. It's just the way I feel.
Yeah, no, I get it. I can only watch baseball like Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe Friday and Saturday, but I can't go
Damn near every
but
day of the week.
but I can't go back and forth from baseball to football on the same day. My brain just doesn't handle that. It just seems like one of these does not belong.
You
If
know,
I
oh god.
I was just going to say it's like a rule change, and it just seems weird, and my brain doesn't process it well.
I have that same problem with wrestling and football. And so like I can't watch wrestling on Sundays if football's on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it sucks because Sunday's usually my day to catch up on wrestling because, I download it all and then try to watch it on the weekends. And it's like, so Sundays I usually just sit there and watch wrestling all day. And when week one had football, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I'm trying to fit in 12 hours of wrestling on Saturday. It's like I can't, my brain just won't let me watch both of them on the same day.
Yep. I could just see that though. It's like the defense sacks the quarterback. Goes, that's the worst pile driver I've ever seen.
You'd be shocked on how many wrestling moves you start picking up on, and German suplexes are a big one. Clotheslines happen all the time.
You're not supposed to clothesline.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to horse collar either.
Right.
But
I'm pretty sure belly to belly suplex isn't okay, but they do it all the time.
Oh heck. All right. Any other comments before we close out?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
So that'll be it for the show, and have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Peace.